Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Audrey and we are a family of 10. This video marks the beginning of my series on trimming our grocery budget and making the most with what we've got. We are approaching the last quarter of 2024 and some of the prices we're seeing at the store are higher than we've seen since the start of COVID. We do try to feed our family primarily whole foods, so not purchasing prepackaged convenience foods and ultra-processed foods can really save us money in some areas and cost us in others. I am going to take you through Sam's Club since that is where I do the majority of our monthly shopping, but I would love to hear how these prices compare to where you are and where you shop. The two oils that I use most often in our house is avocado oil as well as olive oil. I don't even buy extra virgin, just plain olive oil. Avocado oil is a favorite because it can be used to fry foods. It has a higher smoke point. This 1 liter bottle is $9.94. Next, we have a 2 liter bottle of organic extra virgin olive oil for $22.64. I've never purchased this before, but I didn't realize that they carried organic at Sam's, so I thought I would take a picture of that. This is the standard 3 liter bottle of plain olive oil that we buy on a regular basis, and it is $30. While I've never heard anyone claim walnuts to be their favorite nut, they are a superfood. They're full of omega-3 fatty acids, which are good for reducing inflammation, and they are inexpensive compared to some other nuts. So this 48-ounce bag is $8.48. You can add this to oatmeal, cookies. I even throw a small handful in smoothies when I make them for my kids. So I keep this bag in the freezer, and it'll last us probably 4 or 5 months before we have to buy another. So that was a 3-pound bag of walnuts for $8.48 compared to this 2-pound bag of pecan halves for almost $12. Now, pecans have a much better flavor, in my opinion, and have a lot more versatility, but the price speaks for itself. So we typically only buy pecans around the holidays. We will roast some. We will use some in baking. I do keep a bag in the freezer year round, but I don't use them heavily when it's not the holidays. We all know beans are a very inexpensive source of protein. Of course, purchasing them dry over canned or already prepared is a big cost savings. These black beans work out to 98 cents a pound. You get this 12-pound bag for $11.78. And what I love to do is put a bunch of dried beans in my Instant Pot with water or even bone broth and seasonings of choice. And then I like to pressure can them in quart or pint jars, but you can also freeze them if you don't like to pressure can or are afraid to do so. It comes as no surprise that rice is the #1 staple food in the entire world. This 25-pound bag of white long grain rice is about $13. Now, I am trying to source organic white rice in bulk. If you know of any sources that have a good price, please let me know. I would prefer basmati, but honestly at this point I would go with long grain white rice as well. Our favorite 20-pound bag of basmati rice is $19.68. I also took a picture of these crushed tomatoes. I haven't purchased them in a really long time. I prefer not to buy canned vegetables if at all possible, but buying this huge can of crushed tomatoes for $5.48 could provide a lot of versatility for a very inexpensive price if you are needing to make your tomato products at home. You could use this giant can of tomatoes to make salsa, marinara sauce, or even tomato soup. I'm not a huge fan of canned vegetables and fruit, but when it comes to stocking your pantry, if you aren't home canning yourself, buying canned products is definitely the most economical way to go. However, this corn is Del Monte brand, and it breaks down to about 72 cents a can if you were to buy 15-ounce cans, whereas you could get the same corn in great value at Walmart for about 64 cents a can. So I would definitely say it is not always cheaper to shop in bulk at places like Sam's and Costco. This is a perfect example of why it is important to know the prices of the staples you buy most often at the stores you shop most often. These cans of tomato paste, they're 6-ounce cans, and it's 12 of them for $8.48. So that breaks down to 70 cents per can. Now, buying the Great Value brand 6-ounce cans of tomato paste are about 84 cents a can. So in this case, it's cheaper to go ahead and buy them at Sam's. Tomato paste has a ton of versatility. We use it all the time to make homemade tomato soup, marinara sauce, and my favorite red enchilada sauce. And I will link our favorite recipes in the description box. This Member's Mark solid albacore tuna in water breaks down to about $1.63 a can. The same Great Value tuna is $1.44. So again, it's not cheaper to buy that from here. This Member's Mark organic maple syrup breaks down to about 40 cents an ounce, whereas any real maple syrup at Walmart ranges anywhere from 50 cents to over $1 an ounce. So it's definitely a good buy if you purchase maple syrup to get it at Sam's. Another perfect example of making sure you shop around and are getting the best price per ounce. This raw, unfiltered honey works out to 33 cents an ounce, and even the Member's Mark regular wildflower honey works out to 18.8 cents an ounce. However, back in January, I bought 36 pounds of raw, organic, unfiltered honey from Azure Standard for 19 cents an ounce, which is just about equal to the bottom of the line stuff from Member's Mark here at Sam's. So that was definitely a great buy. Without that fantastic Azure Standard deal, I would be purchasing this wildflower honey for just under 19 cents an ounce. I consider old-fashioned oats to be a staple food, and this 10-pound box of conventional oatmeal is about 80 cents a pound. Now, I can buy a 50-pound bag of organic rolled oats from Azure for about $1 a pound, but in this case, I consider that 20 to 25 cent per pound difference totally worth it. We go through a lot of sour cream in our house. We can easily go through 8 to 10 pounds of sour cream per month, and I personally don't see much of a difference between this Daisy brand and the Great Value brand. This Daisy tub works out to 11 cents an ounce, and the Great Value 48-ounce tub is about 10.3 cents an ounce. And in this case, if I'm already at Sam's, I don't care about that 1 cent per ounce difference. It's pretty crazy to me how much these prices are all over the place between whether or not Sam's and Walmart are cheaper, particularly since they're pretty much the same company. But this Member's Mark heavy cream is 13.9 cents an ounce, and the Great Value heavy cream is 18 cents an ounce. So I would definitely purchase it at Sam's. Butter is another thing we use a lot of in our house, and this 4-pound pack of butter breaks down to $3.73 a pound, and I buy about 3 of these a month. Now, $3.73 a pound versus the Great Value butter, which is $4.26 a pound, is definitely the better buy. So I would be purchasing your butter in bulk. Eggs are a very inexpensive source of protein, and we use a lot of them in our house, but egg prices have been killing me lately. With as many eggs as we go through on a daily basis, plus the fact that we are feeding chickens on our farm that are not laying very many eggs for us right now, I just cannot justify paying $4 a dozen. Now, I did find this box of 15 dozen eggs for $40 that works out to $2.68 a dozen, and that is much easier to swallow compared to the other prices I'm finding lately. However, you can find eggs for the same price per dozen at Costco, and you don't have to buy such a large quantity. You can buy 18 to 24 for about $2.75 a dozen. Cheese is another staple in our house. I buy 3 or 4 of these 2-pound blocks of sharp cheddar every month. Right now, it is about $3.26 a pound. The price of cheese hasn't fluctuated too badly since COVID, but when it goes up slightly, we don't stop buying it. We just use it more sparingly. I buy this one big pack of American cheese once a month. It actually has pretty clean ingredients. My husband was under the impression that American cheese was a completely fake food-like product, and he was pleasantly surprised to see that this particular brand has the first ingredients listed as milk, cream, salt, so it's not the worst. And it does make the best grilled cheese sandwiches. This Hillshire Farm smoked sausage was on sale for $2.74 a pound. The same smoked sausage, actually not even the same, the Great Value brand smoked sausage at Walmart is $3.39 a pound. So when this is on sale, it's definitely cheaper to buy it here at Sam's. Everyone in our family tends to start the day with a high protein breakfast. Oftentimes that just means eggs and meat, whether bacon or sausage. Bacon and sausage both tend to run between $4 and $5 a pound right now, no matter where I buy it. Our favorite butcher, about 30 minutes away, I will go to once every 2 months or so and buy sausage in bulk. It is phenomenal, and it's only about $4.40 a pound, which is totally worth it compared to the prices that I would get plain old conventional sausage from at the grocery store. Over the past year or so, I've been such a creature of habit, and I have been purchasing 2 of these 3-pound bags of shrimp every month, and I just make a variety of dishes, maybe 2 or 3 times throughout the month with shrimp rather than chicken or beef. However, at $5.50 a pound, I will probably cut that out of the budget from here on out and replace that with a cheaper cut of red meat or just more chicken. We really like the Member's Mark plain Greek yogurt, It works out to about 10 cents an ounce, which is 1 cent cheaper per ounce than the Great Value. And we only buy one of these per month because we can use a few tablespoons from this container to make our own in the Instant Pot using our raw milk from our dairy cow. Moving on to fresh produce, this is where it really, really is important that we eat in season. That is where you're going to see the best prices reflected at the grocery store. Bananas are holding steady pretty much everywhere I shop, around 50 cents a pound. So that's about 2 bananas per pound. Mangoes are no longer in the budget. They are over $1 a pound right now, and my kids eat 1 mango each, and it's just not very economical. Now, I will say we are still purchasing green kiwi. It is $2.99 a pound, but a little goes a long way, and kiwi are a lot smaller, so we can stretch it out more. But kiwi has 88% more dietary fiber in them than mango, so it's worth the purchase for me. Apple season is upon us. Between now and the end of October, beginning of November, depending on where you're at, you're going to find the best prices for apples that you will find year round. These Fuji apples were $1.30 a pound. Our very favorite are Cosmic Crisp, but they didn't have any at Sam's this day, so I did pick up a few bags of Fuji. We will also make our traditional annual trip to our favorite apple orchard in North Carolina at some point next month, where we will buy 50 to 60 pounds of seconds for a really great price, and we will use that to preserve apple treats throughout the year, such as apple pie filling, applesauce, and apple butter. These Italian-style beef meatballs are one convenience item I don't see myself giving up anytime soon. They only break down to $3 a pound, and you just can't beat that for how quickly I can pull together meatball subs, spaghetti and meatballs, Swedish meatballs. There's a whole list of recipes that I use these for, and it's fabulous to have 2 bags a month in the freezer. As much as I love fresh produce, I do buy 2 bags of these broccoli florets every month. It is about $6 per bag, and we can get about 3 meals out of those 2 bags. Same goes for this broccoli Normandy. My kids are not quite as big a fan of this as the regular broccoli, but it's about $7 a bag, and we can go through about the same 3 meals for about 2 bags. This triple berry blend is actually a pretty good price right now, less than $11 for this 4-pound bag. We use it in smoothies for the most part. These egg rolls I will no longer be buying because the ingredients are awful and it uses lots of seed oil, but they were on sale and I did purchase one last box to have with our veggie fried rice once or twice a month. My kids love this frozen mixed fruit. It's about $11 for this 5-pound bag. They use it for smoothies, smoothie bowls, or sometimes they'll just put some of the frozen fruit in a bowl and eat it for a snack. Regular, conventional 80/20 ground beef is about $6 a pound right now, no matter where I find it. So when I found these 80/20 Angus burger patties pre-made for $4.17 a pound, I thought, once again, this is worth the convenience as far as the price per pound to have these in the freezer. So I buy one of those per month. If you're going to eat it before it goes bad, Sam's is definitely the place to stock up on spring mix, organic spinach, as well as romaine lettuce. I love keeping at least one of these things in my fridge at all times. It's very economical, and I can throw together a side salad with any other veggie scraps I've got in the fridge, along with some homemade dressing, and I can add that to a simple meal of meat and veggies any night of the week. This is the simple toilet paper we buy. It's just Member's Mark. We can get away with about one of these per month, 1.5 to be on the safe side. So I usually buy 2 just so that we always have a little bit of a back stock. I normally really like buying fresh vegetables from Sam's, but their broccoli florets looked pitiful this time. You can get this 2-pound bag for $3.48, which is a great price, but look at how yellowy brown this fresh broccoli was. I did not end up buying any. No, actually, I take that back. I did find a bag toward the back at the bottom of one of those boxes, and it looked good when I bought it, but it still didn't last very long, so that was a huge bummer this time. The fresh Brussels sprouts at Sam's are one of my very favorite veggies to buy in the fresh section. They haven't had them in probably a month and a half. I don't know what's been up with that, but I was happy to see them back. The 2-pound bag is $4.48, which I feel like is pretty good, and they're always much better quality than what I can find at Walmart. These fresh celery sticks are 2.5 pounds for $4.24. I like to chop these up and freeze them. I buy 2 bags of these mini cucumbers every month, and I go ahead and peel and cut them up and put them in the fridge so that we can use them for fresh eating. Sweet potatoes we have in mass from our garden, so I am not currently buying them, but this 5-pound bag is $3.84, which is a really great price. I love these Wild Wonders tomato medley. We buy these probably twice a month for $6 a container. This is a good price on bell peppers. At the regular grocery store, you're going to find peppers for about $1.50 a pepper, and this comes out to just over $1 each. As much as I would love to buy sweet onions this time of year, I typically stick to yellow because they last longer in the pantry. These are about 79 cents a pound. Red potatoes also last a little bit longer in the pantry, but they are significantly more in price compared to russet potatoes. This 10-pound bag is just over $5 and will last all month in my fridge. I usually will buy about 3 of these a month, not the fridge, the pantry. This is our favorite string cheese. We purchase this once a month from Sam's, and when it's gone, and we'll wait until next month to buy more. My daughter's favorite cheese stick is the Monterey Colby Jack. 36 sticks for $8.78. Again, I buy 1 package of these per month. If they run out, we just wait until the next month to get more. I only ever have to buy 1 of these blocks of Parmesan. It is $6.58 per pound, not per block, but we make it stretch all month. I have been buying a 2-pack of these chuck roasts every month, but that is about $40, and I'm just not sure I'm going to do that anymore because we will go through that whole 2-pack in one meal, and that is a lot of money in meat for one meal. I love, love, love these pork tenderloins. I buy 3 packages of these per month. There are 4 per package, and we can use 1 package per meal, which is less than half of what I pay per meal for that chuck roast. This big 10-pound roll of 80/20 ground beef is $4.28 a pound, which is a great price. I did buy 1 of these this past month. I will not have to buy them for too much longer because we will be butchering our meat cow in January, and I am so excited to save money on beef for the next year. These bone-in pork chops are only $2.38 a pound. However, I don't love cuts of meat that basically require you to give each person one of their own because you just can't make it stretch like you can a chicken breast that you've cut up or shredded or ground beef that you've cooked and can stretch in a casserole or some other type of dish. So, not to mention, I'm just not a huge fan of pork chops to begin with, but the price per pound is very good. Do you remember the good old days when you could find boneless, skinless chicken breasts before COVID for around $1.50 a pound? Sometimes even cheaper than that. Well, now it averages about $2.68 a pound, but occasionally I'll find it cheaper when it is marked down for quick sale. I will typically buy 1 of these pre-packaged sliced cheeses per month to use on sandwiches in school lunches and stuff. I also buy 3 packages of turkey, 3 packages of ham, and usually either 1 salami or 1 roast beef to last us the whole month. This past month, I did try these big uncured pepperoni, and they were a big hit. I will forever sing the praises of the lost leader that is rotisserie chicken at Sam's and Costco for under $5. You just cannot beat a full-size chicken, already cooked, juicy, flavorful. You can use it in a variety of ways. I purchase 3 or 4 every month. My kids help me pull the meat off the bones. We use the carcasses to make chicken broth, and we also put the meat in the freezer to use anytime throughout the month. I typically buy about 5 of these low-carb tortillas a month. There are 16 in the package, and they're about $7 per package, so that's about $35 a month in low-carb tortillas. However, I took a look at the back of the package to look at the ingredients and was really bummed to see vegetable shortening, hydrogenated soybean oil. I don't know why I would have expected any different. But I have a fabulous homemade tortilla recipe that I will share in another video. I'm pretty sure I probably already have, but I could dedicate a whole video to that again because I've tweaked it a bit. But it contains like 4 ingredients, and I could easily make a big batch and freeze them raw and just pull them out of the freezer as we need them throughout the month and throw them on the skillet before dinner. So I will be saving $35 a month moving forward, no longer purchasing those tortillas. The same certainly goes for store-bought bread. You can see here this massive list of ingredients for store-bought whole wheat bread. Homemade bread typically calls for 5 or 6 ingredients. You can use anything from all-purpose flour to whole freshly ground wheat, but either way, it's always going to be a better choice than store-bought. And lastly, I couldn't help but take a picture of this because it was hilarious. It is literally marketed as a human-sized pet bed for $100. Maybe you want to add it to your Christmas list. Either way, it definitely does not fit in my frugal grocery budget. Thanks so much for watching. I hope this was helpful. And please do let me know in the comments what prices are looking like in your area and where you are choosing to shop. See you next time.